What's up, everybody? It's Lunch with Lauren here again. It's another week. I hope y'all have had a great week. I don't know about y'all, but my week, I feel like it should be Thursday or Friday, but it's definitely Wednesday. So if you're, popping in, make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you let me know in the chat what you're eating for lunch. If you're at work, you're working from home, whatever you're doing, make sure you let me know in the chat. Shout out to the very first person that popped in. Shout out to Black's Tropical Homestead, the Soil family. What's up? I'm so glad that you're here. For me, for lunch, I am having tea. This mug says unstoppable. Oh my gosh, like my lip gloss. Unstoppable. And it says, I am resilient. I am unstoppable. Oh, I am resilient and unstoppable. That's my name. So shout out to Shannon Cohen. She is a creative. She's an encourager out of Grand Rapids. I'm going to drop a video soon sharing some of my favorite things. And one of my favorite things is all things Shannon Cohen. She has greeting cards. She has mugs. She has like canvas bags, just everything that you would want with nice, positive, encouraging messages. So I'm going to post the video very, very soon. I shot it a while back and I just have to post it. Shout out to John. Hey, how are you doing? What's up? Hey, Daryl. Thanks for showing some love. Yeah, so I'm really excited for the guests today. So if you're new here, if you're new to Lunch with Lauren is a show that breaks up your workday, and we bring some pretty awesome people on the show. They could have a YouTube channel or they could not. They could be writers, they can be creatives, but really it is really to kind of expose what they're doing, right? Like they're doing great things and more people need to know about it. So this particular guest that I'm having on Lunch with Lauren, one, I admired from the first time I saw their show, and I was so happy that I was invited to be on their show. It was so fun. If you missed it, I'll tag it below. It'll be in the description box, and I'll be sure to put a little card here so that you can click on it and go right to it. But I had so much fun on their show. I mean, they had everything laid out from the intro to just the different segments, and the conversation just flowed. So I had a really great time, and I'm really excited to have them on Lunch with Lauren because I feel like they're going to share some knowledge that's not only helpful to me, but it's helpful to other content creators. As you all know, I am very, very new. I am like a baby in this YouTube sphere, and there are things that I can learn, right? Like aside from struggle streaming and trying to make sure my streams are right, just having a conversation and building relationships is very, very key. And so I'm always in the learning stance. I'm always wanting to learn and grow. And so I'm taking y'all on this journey with me. Help me show some love as I bring up Blind Guy, his wife, Corey and Laquita.
Hey, everybody. How you doing, Lauren?
I am so good. I'm so good. How are y'all doing?
Oh,
Doing
wait,
great.
Sorry, Corey. I hit the wrong button. The mouse fell. Oh, my goodness.
How are y'all doing?
We are.
I don't know. I'm dropping stuff.
She
We're
literally
doing great.
dropped the mic.
Yeah.
We're doing great. How about yourself?
I am doing good. I had it was a struggle week starting off, but now I feel like okay, it's going. So we're here. Look, Black's Tropical Homestead. Their show is very fun, interesting, and exciting, y'all. That's why I'm here. They here to give me some tips because
Oh,
I
thank you.
literally left y'all show. Like people were calling me. I think my brother was watching. He was like, their show is fun, and I'm like, I know.
Oh,
Yes. So really
thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Yes, Colette. Hi, girl. How you doing?
Hey,
Over the top.
over the
Over the
top.
top.
Wicked, mean,
Yes.
and evil.
No, over the top.
Weapons martial arts expert.
Over the top. Wife, mother, entrepreneur.
There you go. Love to see it. Love to see it. So we're gonna get into it. Like, oh, she said hello back. Um, I want to kind of get your background. So, how long have y'all been married, and what really made y'all, or when did you? How did you want to start this YouTube journey? Like, what happened?
Well, we've been married. We've been together for 29 years, married for 21 of those years. And let me tell you, it's been long, hard, arduous,
Let me hit the
prison-like
mute button
life.
again. He
No.
always says that. You know, he always says that. And truth be told, if anybody's married, they will let you know married life is no cakewalk.
No.
It's like anything else. It's like a long job that you just can't quit, right?
Mhm.
Hey, Everything Everyday podcast with Daryl Long. Thank you so much. He says major inspiration. So
Yes.
he might know something about this, right? That it's
I
a
mean, you
job you
can
can't.
quit if you want to, but
You
once
try not to.
you try not to
Yeah.
be invested into it, the other person, especially when you have, you built a family and you're building a legacy together, then you definitely want to, for better or for worse. That's what you're there for better or for worse. But we got started on our YouTube journey. Ironically, grew out of our professional lives that we have as teaching artists.
Mhm.
Since 1998, Laquita and I have traveled the Mid-Atlantic region and beyond. Doing
Well, Mid-Atlantic region, because we're in Virginia.
Okay.
So when he says Mid-Atlantic region, that's like
Virginia,
Virginia.
Delaware, Maryland, North
Okay.
Carolina, South Carolina, and then we've gone as far as Florida, and as far north as Maryland, and as far we haven't gone too far to the west. We went to West Virginia, but that Mid Atlantic region is where we call our home base, where
Corey,
we have our
hold
biggest
on.
reach.
I'm about to die on the live stream.
Get
Don't
some
down
water,
the
Laquita.
You got water?
I do have some water.
Yes. She had to. You good? Okay. Get it out,
I'm
girl.
good, thank
All
you.
right.
She got choked up by the story.
Listen, y'all have done a lot. You were going down your resume, and she said, "I did all that," and she got all emotional.
Yeah,
I
she
know.
got
I
choked
hear it.
up. But yeah, so we spend a lot
I'm
of
okay. I'm okay. Let me get some water. Go
we
ahead.
spend a
Corey.
lot of time presenting in front of a lot of different types of audiences, corporate team builders,
Yes.
professional development for educators, teachers of all levels. We even had a chance to present at NASA Langley, which is the Air Force base and the local NASA branch here in Virginia, where we actually got to present to science teachers about how to use storytelling, music, and history to teach science lessons. So we've been teaching people to teach the way that we teach, and
Wait. Teaching people to teach the way that we teach.
We teach people
What
to
does that
teach the way that
mean?
we teach. That means
Fun,
we open
engaging.
Right.
we open them up to edutainment, and edutainment just
Edutainment.
blending. Our parent company is Oxen Pine Edutainment Incorporated, and we blend education and entertainment into one package to present information. And we found that people were more enthralled by our us as our presenting style,
True.
just as much as they were with the information. So,
Sorry, Corey. Go ahead.
so that when the Ronnie Ron got all up in these streets and limited how we could do in-person presentations that we had been doing, we decided let's take this to the YouTube sphere, and let's bring our talents to as storytellers, musicians, as creators, to actually present the same type of information in a different way. So we started off doing recorded videos.
Corey, let the lady ask a question.
I am. She asked for the background.
He's the background. He's giving it to me because
Okay.
it's coming. It's coming.
Lauren,
Let me tell you, I just didn't want to put your hand down.
It's coming.
Put your hand down. This is not the other show. You can't tell me to shut up on this
This is
show.
this is great.
no,
This is
Corey,
great. No, so you
no,
all
that's
have been
great.
like naturally funny and
Look,
engaging for a while.
yeah.
true,
I'm
but you know
getting
what?
to the
I will
end.
say for a while, because like Corey said, we've been together so long. So it's like we've grown up together. And I do want to just mention that Corey puts that finger up when all the men are in the chat, but this is a lady show. So we rule today, Corey.
Yes.
Over the top, WME is in there. I am Courtney. Michelle is in there. Everybody's like on my side. So
I ain't scared.
Lucky's here. You ain't scared. Listen.
I ain't scared.
Listen.
If
The one thing I do enjoy about y'all is like I noticed like the chemistry, like it's there. Y'all have fun together. And I think this is what people need to see, especially when it comes to marriages. And we're not here to talk about marriage today. I will have to bring you back to talk specifically about marriage. But I'm really interested in your style and how you work. And I know there's a certain way. There's this certain way that you all go about it. There's this uniqueness as storytellers because you all are storytellers in a way.
True.
So, what skill set do you have, or should people have to really achieve what you all have achieved. Like, obviously, your path is your path, but I think there's something that we can pick up along the way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The main skills that we call it our amp, that we amp up and help people to amp up their presentation. This is what we use as our model. Is just being able to be good active listeners, to be able to manage engagement, and to be able to package a public presentation that encompasses a variety of learning styles. And that's a real kind of academic way to say, listen good, talk to folks the right way, and then give them the information they're looking for in an entertaining and educational way, depending on what genre you're looking for.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically a way that they can understand. So we speak to audiences from like all spectrums. I mean, from pre-K to adults and seniors, right? Because we do a lot of company in events, university events. So those folks, you would think that they just want like, okay, just give us the info. Nope, they want what the toddlers want. They want the engagement. They want something that's good. And so, like Corey said, we really look at our audiences and we say, well, what would they want? So when we're presenting for the military, Corey always knows a little bit about everything. So, that's where we really balance each other. Because if we go to a military event, there was this several different military events that we would go to every year. They would book us. Also, insurance companies, right? So, those types of events, they would book us, and we would say, okay, what do we know about these people?
And this is where the active listening comes in. Active listening isn't just hearing somebody talking; it's also going out and doing a little bit of research about that company or that person that you're about to be engaged with, so that you can actually present to them in a manner that speaks to their personality, that speaks to their mission, their objectives, whatever it is that you're trying to, whatever audience you're trying to reach. You want to actively research the type of people they are, and that doesn't have to be spending hours in a library or online trying to find information. It can just be as simple as having a conversation. But go ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, I mean, that's it. Yeah. That's the main thing.
So you wouldn't recommend like going into a conversation cold. Obviously, you want to know a little bit about them beforehand. So how does that translate into the YouTube space, right? Because a lot of it has to do with relationship building and knowing the person or the people or the audience. But in this case, with it being on YouTube, your video can fall into the lap of someone whom perhaps the video wasn't really created for, or how did you adjust, if at all?
I have an answer for that. Did you want to answer first?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of talking. Go ahead.
You know what? It's what Corey said. Even though, like you just said, Lauren, okay, your video can land in the laps of anybody. That's what you're thinking, right? It's going to head out there. But when you're first starting, and we're pretty new, we've only been here for a year and a half on YouTube. We've been doing our togetherness, presenting to other people for like 23 years. So we said, okay, let's do what we did in our 23 years. Let's learn about the people. So we consumed a lot of content. And so
let me explain consuming a lot of content. Hey, Corey, sit down. Watch this video. Okay.
Man.
But that's how I did end up meeting a lot of interesting people like yourself. Go ahead.
And not just that, but meeting people. And not just meeting people, but some people you'll never meet, like you'll never engage with, but you start to learn that there's a lot of overlap. Like you'll start to learn that there's a lot of overlap in the sense of everybody wants to hear something clearly. They want direct communication. They really like a good presentation. And then that's how we got to people like Lauren Melissa. Like, oh, she's cute, but Corey can't see. So I just got to tell him, oh, Corey, she's cute. But and Corey can say, oh, she has a nice voice. She has good diction. She's easy to listen to, right? So, we have different reasons for listening to you. And then, oh, there's good content. She talks about a spectrum of things. And so we're listening for those things. And we're also looking at, wow, YouTube says you have to have these things. So what is she doing with that? She's got headphones. Her audio is clear. Her video is clear. We're learning about you, even not knowing what's your favorite color, right? We know that you like professionalism. You're the same as some of these other folks that have 2 million subscribers, 8 million subscribers. What we do know is that, okay, folks in this space, they like a certain quality. They like a certain this. So, consuming a lot of content taught us those things. So that's my answer.
Yeah, I think that's really good too, because when I first entered the space, some advice that I was given was, do you have to do like you have to study? It's kind of like a class, and a part of studying is actually going on different channels or different platforms and watching and just taking note. Like this is something I like. This is something I don't think I would want to do, or just certain things. So I'm really glad that you said that. And one thing that I also took from that is really getting clear on the direction, right? Because once you know the direction of your particular channel or your content, you know exactly what to pick up or put down. Otherwise, you'll be picking up everything and trying to incorporate everything, right? Like, yeah.
We did
So,
that.
Yeah, and I think part of that is just being genuine and being true to yourself, because we struggled at first because we actually tried to start the YouTube channel before the running room hit the streets, but we just were struggling to figure out,
Well, you
who.
said we tried to start. We did start.
Yeah, we did, but really didn't catch our stride until we decided that who are we and what are we doing? What is it that what are we doing in the in-person environment that we can bring to the table? What is it that people want to see? And it's
And
and that's when we.
that really fed from in real life, because we're real people. You're a real
right,
person, right?
yeah,
We got day jobs, we got other lives, we got stuff. So that's where we said, who are we in real life? How can we bring that to this space without exposing too much of our real life? The same way that when we go to our jobs, when we go to the grocery store, and excuse me, I'm a bit hoarse,
it's okay.
but a little hoarse. I'm a pony, but uh, anyways, but when we go to our real lives and our real spaces, we go to these places and we don't tell them everything about us. We don't tell them everything about ourselves, but we want them to get a good impression. And so we said, okay, let's go to these places, YouTube, and let's find our stride. How do we like approach people without giving all of our details? Because some people, I'm not big with transparency to strangers. Look, over the top talking about, yes, girl, they are real.
What's real?
Talking about us.
Oh, and then
wait. Just so everybody knows that's watching, I'm not taking over your show, Melissa.
No, no, no.
Corey can't see, so I tend to read
Yeah.
comments for him. So I won't read all of them, but a lot of times I make sure that he knows what's going on. And
Yeah.
it's just also a part of our chemistry too. But go ahead, Melissa. I don't know if you were saying something to
No,
Corey.
he was going. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, just to add to it, to get to the point of how do we decide, how do we catch our stride and find our identity in the YouTube world. I'll give you an example. We have done many presentations in front of many different audiences and had fun teaching about history, science, things.
When you say many, let's give it context, because people will say stuff like Africa is hot, but then we find out that Arizona gets to 115, 120 degrees.
Right.
And I wouldn't want to go there. So
on average,
when we say many, we would do about 60 shows between just March and June. Okay. So those 4 months, 60, just Corey and I.
And that's not counting the tours that we would go on throughout the different states, and not counting just, public
with our dance theater, and
our own our productions that we created here in local theaters.
Hold on, Corey, because I gotta holler something to the background.
Y'all, if y'all just tuning in, we got Corey and Laquita of Blind Guy, his wife, on here, really dropping some gems on what makes their channel work. So go ahead, you can finish.
So what we did was whenever we finished doing these presentations, a lot of times we would do Q&A where people could ask questions, and we would give all this great information about African history, African American history, science, math, you name it, whatever we presented, we just nailed it. And people would always come back to us. And I tell people, I could pick Laquita up in the show, throw her to the back of the conference room, run and catch her, and then land in the split and say, ta-da!
Right, thinking, hey, here's a physical feat. And
at the end of the show, they'd be like, so what's it like being blind? What's it like being his wife? How do you do this? How do you do that? And that's how we got to Blind Guy, his wife, their life.
Because they wanted to know about us.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So what I'm hearing is like, you sometimes you go in thinking it's going to be one way, and then after some time you can recalibrate. Like you can change things up, and then really create content and really speak to the audience and really getting to the question. It doesn't mean that they don't care about the other content, but there are also other questions that people may have, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, I love that. So for the people, since you kind of put it out there, so okay, what's it like to be blind and what's it like to be married to a blind, guys? For all the people that may be new to y'all, I'll ask the question so they don't have to.
And that's cool.
So
That's
wait a minute. That's the question on the table now.
yes.
What is it like being blind or being married to a blind person, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So you want to go first, Corey?
Melissa, if my finger goes up, don't say a word, because what happens is I'll start talking about what it's like to be blind, and she starts answering.
You know what? No, this is her platform. You can't give me the finger.
And it's the
Wait,
it's the
wait, wait.
pointer finger, not the middle
That's
finger.
what I was
That's why,
gonna
yeah,
say.
I can fix that for you.
I
But
love that.
I mean, I guess depending on the way you ask the question, what people
Hmm.
want sometimes ask me, well, what do you see? Do you see darkness?
Right.
And I tell people all the time, I say, I just see the blackest blackness that you could ever imagine. Anybody has sight, you could, close your eyes, put duct tape over them, then turn out all the lights, and you still will have some light perception. I don't have any light perception. So I tell everybody,
Hmm.
everybody's black to me. Welcome to Wakanda.
Oh, I love it.
So, it has its challenges and it also has its pluses because of course, challenges being that okay, I have to help somebody to help me to walk if I'm going somewhere I'm not familiar with. I have
Hmm.
to listen to. I have to do a lot of listening even when I don't want to. I hear things I don't want to hear sometimes.
Wait, wait, wait. So let me just clarify this because Corey does do a great job of listening sometimes. Like when he used to work at the bank,
Oh
he
my
would
god.
you know I'm gonna say this
That's fine. Go
because
ahead.
you
Go
don't
ahead.
listen to me. So, anyways, this is like so this is where you realize it's regular married stuff, right? You
Hmm.
start to realize it's not because he's blind, this is
Right.
just husbands.
Hmm.
So Corey does not hear stuff or remember stuff that I say some kind of way miraculously. He can remember the circumference of a peach in 1989, but I'll be like, hey, Corey, XYZ. And he'd be like, huh, wait, when you tell me that? He used to work at the bank. He would have one earbud with the customer, the other earbud with the computer talking because Corey uses talking software. So,
Okay.
so whatever's on the
Yeah.
screen, he can hear, and that's how he learns what's happening.
But I think
And wait, no, I ain't finished.
okay.
Leah, let me finish. Because this is the ladies' channel now, Corey. I can talk trash, index and finger down.
Right.
Anyways, so he would listen to the customer while they were talking. He would be navigating the screens, typing stuff on his keyboard, and then the other ear listening to, like, okay, you're on this screen, you're at this field.
Wow.
I think, and she's that is how the system worked. But I think really in that environment, it kind of dulled my active listening skills because what tends to happen is you get the gist of the question, and then I was paying more attention to the computer because that's where the vital information was. So the customer could be droning on and on and on in my
Wait,
left
wait.
ear,
So now you admitting it. I'm like the customer. I'm
I was
droning
just gonna
on.
say, you the customer, the queen. There you go. We
and then
figured it out.
and
Right.
then and then I got the computer talking to me in the other ear. So I had to learn to just say, ma'am, sir, give me one moment while I look up this information. And then they would just stop talking and allow me to look up the information. Then I could present it to them. Then I could listen to them better. But then you always have those ones that just drone on and on.
The
And
wife,
no,
like people that were like the wife.
oh, you claim that I'm not giving it to you.
I ain't gonna lie, that's me. And that's what it's like being married to a blind person. You're thinking, let me just keep going. Let me just keep talking. JT Coin Rings is like, that's amazing. That's what I said, JT.
Mhm. But it wasn't like I was listening to two things at the same time. It's like, okay,
because that's what I thought.
yeah, it's
the,
like
the way he
the
explained
customer
it.
talks, they stop, I listen.
Mhm.
The customer talks, they stop, I listen to the computer. So while this part, sometimes you get those irate people coming in, and you have to do both at the same time. Pretend to be listening out of one ear and not really listening because you're just trying to fix the problem.
And I've experienced that as a wife.
Right. Right.
But it wasn't like I got two ears split and I'm just listening to both and absorbing all the information from both sides of my head.
Because that's the way I thought he meant it worked. I was like, well, if you can do that, you can do
You
it at
could do it.
home.
Yeah. I love that. So I love that. And so what I'm getting from that is like listening is kind of at the core and how it translates from like your professional life to in the house. And it's really no different than any other married relationship or marriage, right? Listening is
Right.
key. Communication is key, and communication can happen in a multitude of ways. I love that. So I'm going to make a hard pivot because I definitely just threw that in there based on this conversation. But I want to talk about map skills, or just like this, how listening kind of plays a role in how you interact, or, kind of, I guess, yeah, how you manage interactions as content creators. Like, how does that, and tell people what that is, right? How does that
Okay.
kind of go in hand in hand?
It goes listening goes hand in hand because I always say that for us we do a lot of interviews. Our channel is all it's a talk show. We do
Mhm.
interviews. We interview guests like Lauren, Melissa, and other fabulous people that we met along the way. But I can't effectively interview Lauren Melissa if I don't know anything about her. So of course I have to go and read the about section. That's part of active listening. Even though it's not talking to you, I'm
Mm.
listening to your story through
Hmm.
the about section on your video on your channel. Okay, that gives me some more insight. Well, oh, Lauren Melissa has a web page. Let's go there. So we go to Lauren Melissa's Lauren.
Wait, we got to also talk about how fabulous her webpage is. So this is a sidebar. This is just what the girls do. We're always in three conversations at once, right?
Yes.
That was one of
I'm
the
gonna help y'all
things that
ladies out after she says this. I'm gonna help
that
y'all out with some communication skills with me. Okay, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I
that
mean,
was
go
one of
ahead.
the things that drew us to you. You were so amazing online. You did all the necessary things, right? So you were like, okay, fine, be a pretty face, be an educated person, and be an accomplished adult, but also be responsible, be
Mhm.
accountable. So
Mhm.
that when people come looking for you, you are there. So that was what drew us to you. So we're just excited
Oh,
about this collaboration. Thank you for having us.
yes.
Anyway, okay, go ahead, Corey.
And so, going to the website, find out what Lauren Speaks was all about, getting some history there. Then, of course, going to the videos and listening to the different videos that you have on your channel. That's part of that listening to get to learn the person. But then it also became a point of a conversation. We actually had a conversation with you prior to coming onto the air, onto to
Mhm.
the broadcast. We call it our tech check. We
Yeah.
spend about 15 to 20 minutes. First of all, if anybody in the YouTube streets know the struggle streaming, that StreamYard can mess your life up if you wait to
Okay.
the last minute to try to schedule to get somebody in and check on things. So
But
we
wait a minute. In StreamYard's defense, StreamYard
and I shouldn't
is
say StreamYard, I should say the internet.
the internet because our issue is the internet. So no matter what look, she's pointing to herself.
Same.
You know
Same.
what I mean? Because I have friends in California, and I'm like, girl, you're in the what do you call that belt? The Silicon
Silicon
Valley.
Valley.
The
Mhm.
You're
Valley.
supposed to have the best internet. And she's like, no, we're the ones that always have outages. We have X, we have Y, we have Z. So I'm talking to people over in South Africa, in Tanzania, in Ghana. These folks are streaming like
Like
professionals.
crazy.
Okay.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it comes right back to, okay, it may be the platform, it may not be. It may be the internet, it may not be. At the end of the day, though, we all just have to be professional, bring what we can bring to these spaces, do the best that we can do in these spaces so that we can keep a good look, right?
Mhm.
That goes back to the tech check. Like I said, that's when we really got to know Lauren Melissa. I'm using you as our
Hmm.
example
Yeah,
story
that's
on your
fine.
channel. So we got to talk to her about some of her, I would ask key questions like, where are you originally from? Where'd
Mhm.
you go to college? And that way, as we're building that conversation, outside the topic questions that we want to talk about, I have some, I call it ammunition, some ammunition to be able to interject some humor or to interject some type of personal dialogue that makes the conversation seem more natural. So I know one of the things that Lauren told us is that she had siblings, and they actually came onto the stream. And
Mhm.
I asked, okay, who got the most whippings? And I know Lauren was like, I didn't get any, but her brother chimed in and said, I got all them four. And so
So
just
wait. Just so that everybody that's listening knows, when you were on our show, Corey was asking you about that because you are one of four siblings. You're the only girl of three boy siblings.
Mhm.
And that's what Corey asked you.
Right.
Okay, so
okay, let's
how'd it
straighten.
work
Okay,
out?
this is Laquitaism. She's the only girl of three boy siblings. No, nobody's in there is transgender. Melissa is
Oh,
the fourth child,
okay.
and she's the only girl out of four with three brothers. That's what
Right.
we're trying to say.
That's what we're trying to say.
Yes.
And everything that we're doing right now, clarifying, repeating things, that's how we communicate, because we have found that when we're talking to people,
Hmm.
yeah, people are in the conversation, they're listening, but you do have to repeat, you do have to clarify, you do have to make sure everybody's on the same page. So that
Hmm.
way, Patrice Garner is in the same space as
Yes.
JT Coin Rings, as Lucky Marie,
Hmm.
Jonathan Barronville. They're all thinking different things, they're doing different stuff.
Hmm.
So that's a part of what we do in our communication with each other, with our children. Kids don't listen. Anybody that has
Kids
kids,
don't listen, never.
yeah, just know kids don't listen. But yeah, so that's just a part of our personality that we've developed. And it's a part of those skills that we've just adopted, so that it's
Mhm.
like it's our professional life, but it's also our personal life as well.
I love that. So it's intertwined, and that makes it easier. I want to ask a question because this is something that, as I'm, coming on YouTube, I'm trying to learn and grow. But how do you balance, going on with your show, reacting to the comments, like when's the right time to pause to not throw it off, but you also don't want to ignore? Like, when did you find the balance, or if you have found the balance, at what point did that happen? Because I think, again, if you're a new YouTuber out here, this is absolutely the number one video you should watch. They have dropped a lot of knowledge in terms of how to really start and create, where to find your sweet spot. And now we're going to get to the the funnest thing on YouTube, in my opinion, is the chat. It's the community that you build. So how do you bridge that? Like, how do you build that in?
You have to be prepared to grow with the channel because, and I'm not trying to be funny, but if you're coming on, you're just starting out your channel and you have like 4 to 10. We started out our live shows with like 10 people on average coming into the chat.
And family and friends, not just 10 people on average. Like my
People
mama was
y'all knew.
Right.
on
And the cool part about it is at that point you can kind of acknowledge and manage the chat a little bit better, but be prepared because as you grow and you start to have 20, 30, 40, 50, and then you get up to,
100,
100,
500,
500 people
1,000.
in the chat, then you have to start managing that a different way. So our channel has grown and it's continuing to grow. So we're continuing to adjust. But I'm going to throw this over to Laquita because she manages the chat and as far as making sure that, and I'm the one that kind of makes sure we stay on task. So in that sense, I say for me, watching a lot of sports on TV helps because you always have that one guy that's like the straight guy, and then you have the color commentator who does all the sidebars and things of that nature. So we kind of flip flop on that, but because she's reading the chat, she's more the color commentator, and I'm more of the analyst that's trying to keep
Gotcha.
things on task. But then she'll flip flop and take on the analyst role, and I'll take on the color commentator role. So we're interchangeable, but we know our lane. So how do you think how would you explain that we manage the engagement in the chat? Because this was about managing engagement when we talk about our mapping our soft skills.
Yeah, it's just what Corey said. It's exactly what we do in real life. Some of us that are actually engaging in real life, right? So, like, as you're putting up the chat, Jonathan Barronville is saying they're such an awesome couple. And
Thank
earlier
you.
he had XDMC in there, Corey.
Oh, XDMC was here. I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
do
Yeah.
it. Can I do
I
it? X E P E P E P T M C.
Before you go on, Laquita, someone asked something that Corey said.
Sure.
Someone asked, "What do you mean color?" When you said like
A
the
color commentator.
yes.
Okay, they say the analyst gives the straight, and I'll just use
Wait, wait, wait. Just so that you know, Corey could see until he was age 19. So,
Mhm.
like, he had graduated from high school. We were already dating since we were 17. So, Corey had a car. I had a car. We had our little raggedy cars. And
Don't talk about Betty Lou like that.
Betty
Corey's car
Lou.
was named, I know, Corey's car was named Betty Lou. So that meant that we both had our cars, but if we went on a date, Corey would come pick me up and stuff like that. And then he started having issues with vision, tunnel vision. He could only see straight ahead. At night, he could only see lights. So all of a sudden,
You just
he couldn't see, right?
mhm.
But before, Corey was a football and still is a football fanatic. So he did play football in high school, and I was in cheerleader. But the point is that Corey played football in high school and he uses a lot of sports analogies. So when he goes to this color commentator, he's speaking specifically to football, right?
No,
Like
it's any
football commentary
Any
or just
sport.
any
sports?
sports in general.
Okay.
You can go gymnastics, figure skating, and the best way I can give it to somebody who asked to the person asked that question, you have the analyst say, "Okay, it's third down and one, 2 minutes left in the game. The Packers are coming to the line. The defense is set this way or that way."
Mm-hmm.
That's the analyst. They're telling you exactly what's happening. The
Right.
color commentator was like,
So wait. Are you a sports person, Melissa Lauren?
Well,
Because
I took a sports class because I went to went to school for broadcasting, so I had to kind of learn the different forms of broadcasting. So I'm familiar. I wanted him to explain. Yes.
right. Well, no, I say that because you were like right in there, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yep, you got it. So and
Yep.
plus you have three brothers, so I didn't know
Mhm.
how involved you were in sports.
Yes,
You
I
know,
do. I do watch sports. I
because
don't
I know
play
you.
them though. Just
Okay,
golf.
because I know you were a dancer, like ballet, tap,
Hmm.
jazz, and all that stuff. And I didn't know, hey, you might have been,
The
at
only
the
sport is
Queen.
golf. I know I started golfing and then introduced my brothers to golfing, and so now they're really good at it. I think I'm probably terrible now because I stopped. So yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay.
Hmm.
All right, sweet. So okay, you're right there with the sports commentary part. So go
Hmm.
ahead, Corey.
so the color commentator is not based on what the person's skin color is not that. The color commentator is the one that adds the spice and the flavor
Ooh,
to the story. So they're saying, okay, the Packers are coming to the line, and the Carolina Panthers are setting this defense, and the color commentator say, well, yeah, you got to watch out because it looks like number 54 is lined up to come on the blitz. You see how his hand is down on the ground. You see how he's in it. His stance has changed. He's not in his traditional stance. Look out, look out. Oh, you can see the quarterback's getting nervous. He's starting to call an audible. Look over to the coach. The coach is trying to frantically call a timeout.
Okay.
That's the color commentator. They're telling you all the great all the other things around but besides just what's happening in that moment.
and that
Gotcha.
means for me as the color commentator,
You're using the chat as your color.
exactly. And not only that, I'm also using my womanly wilds because I'm a woman, I'm nosy, I'm
Nice.
curious, I'm always in the chat, right? So I was like, hey, I saw Snuggles. I'm like, what you mean color? Snuggles, sit down somewhere. You know we friends. We got you. We answered it, right?
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so sorry, I gotta shout out to Jonathan for the Cash App, and he asked a question for Corey. If you've ever used software developed by AI squared, he said, believe it or not, my first full-time job engineering was building assistive software at AI squared. So he just
For
wanted to
folks
know.
like
Okay.
Corey.
Okay.
Mhm.
I never use AI squared.
I wonder though if it's related to
That's what I'm
Jaws.
saying. It's well, the company, the AI squared is the company. If I'm not mistaken, John, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But the company that most
That
people
was
are,
Jonathan Barronville. Yes, yep.
Mhm.
most
You how
people,
you gonna just give him a nickname, John?
his name is Jonathan.
Y'all
I'm
guys,
just
maybe that's what y'all do. It's
John
okay, okay,
Hey,
okay.
John.
JB.
JB,
but
everything.
But yeah, the company that I use a product called JAWS, and JAWS is an acronym for Job Access with Speech, and it's created by Freedom Scientific, and
Mhm.
that's the software that I'm most familiar with. Now, whether it's based off of anything that AI Squared has created or invented, I know there are other forms of technology that are out there that I've used that may have been invented, but created by AI Squared, but I couldn't tell you right offhand which ones those were. I know in college I used to use something called a type and speak that
So
was
let
Okay.
me say this
a
real quick,
screenless laptop.
Corey. I'm always here. I'm always in multiple screens because, like I was saying about Womanly Wilds, I do try to multitask. And so when I Googled it, AI squared versus Jaws, I found an article from Freedom Scientific, and it says AI squared slash Freedom Scientific releases Fusion 11. So they
Okay,
might be
so
related.
that's what I was trying to
Okay.
figure out. Yeah, so they probably they probably merged together and created a one platform where all their systems work. So
Well,
so
there
I
you
will say
go,
this to you.
Jonathan.
Yeah, I will say this to you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you for the question, but also thank you for the great work you're doing in the field of adaptive software.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I love that. And y'all, I want to thank you because what y'all just shared about the comments, right? And how you use the comments to kind of bring life and color to the live and to streams. That's something that takes skill. Okay, that is not easy, because depending on what's happening in the chat, it can really derail. And I think it's really good that you all have that chemistry, especially when you're co-hosting with someone. Because if it's just you, I mean, it's, you can just do whatever, right? But when you're co-hosting, like the fact that you all kind of like have roles, right? Whether they were official roles or not, you assumed the role, you understood the assignment, and you are
Yep.
doing it, right? And so I
Yes.
think that's really important for people that are starting their channel with someone or without, and knowing how to balance the comment section.
I definitely will say absolutely to what you said. That's another thing we really admired about you. At least I did. I don't know if Corey
Dang,
did.
I
No,
mean,
well, I say that because I didn't ask. You know what I mean? Like, well, here's what I'm trying to say.
that's one thing LaQueen is famous for saying stuff
And then sounding crazy.
and I gotta come back and fix it.
So that's another thing. It works out. And I'm very comfortable with saying crazy stuff because I know when I'm with Corey, I can say crazy stuff. He'll fix it. So it's sort of like what you were saying. Actually, it's easier when you have a co-host because you do have someone that you can balance off of, right? So one thing I admired about you is I'm the one that will consume a lot of content. I'll bring it to Corey so he can consume it in different nuggets, right? And one thing I admired about you, I was like, wow, this girl is smart. Like she really pays attention to certain things. Okay, she's in certain spaces. So of course, okay, I see you on this channel or I see you on this platform, but you have your own space. So when I went to LaurenMelissaSpeaks.com, I found out who you were and I had a chance to see like, oh, okay, this is what she's talking about. This is how she produces her information. This is the quality, right? So then I could kind of give it to Corey. He would take it in chunks or pieces or whatever. But when you have a co-host, you can give and take so that we use the chat so that while Corey's talking, hey, I can be scanning the chat. I can see everybody over there talking about which ring is
Right, which ring
is her ring on? Right. I don't even have a ring. Why? Because we play hand drums. So my nails are super short, exceptionally short. I bite them, honestly speaking. But either way, when you play hand drums,
That's one of those times.
what? So I'm saying something crazy.
Right. I can't fix that one.
Wait, you can't say what? What did I say that was crazy?
Oh Lord, what you finna say, Corey?
I can't.
I mean, okay, so
TMI, but go ahead.
Right, TMI, I bite my nails, right? But the
I
point
used to
is,
too, but I stopped.
so either way, at this point, I don't have any jewelry on my hands or fingers. A lot of times I'll have a scrunchie, and we can't explain that all the time, right? That you don't have a ring for on this hand or this hand for this reason. I don't have a ring on this hand or this hand for this reason. But what we do is we use the chat to just fuel the commentary so that we can keep it wherever we want it as content creators. Because, like you're saying, you use your real life history, real life to bring what you want to bring to this space. So if you want to be classy, if you want to be sassy, you bring that to this space and you ignore the certain things and you say, oh, over the top said yes. Having a co-host makes it a lot easier because she's going to say something good, right?
Right.
So you're like, okay, boom, let me listen to those voices and you scan it and you use whatever you have. But you're right, it's a skill. This stuff does not come naturally. It's practice. It's like just constant practice and having a great time with it and being okay with not always getting it perfect because we're all real people.
And
Absolutely.
the chat it also helps. I'm gonna say this, and I'll stop really quickly. It helps to have great people. I'm pretty sure everybody in the YouTube streets knows her. People like Gail Lockett in your corner as a moderator because that kind of helps you to weed out those trolls, so you don't have to worry about something super crazy coming through, and then trying to have to fix that in the middle of a live stream because somebody said something bad. So it helps to have a great moderator. Gail Lockett, she's out there. We call her a professional moderator. Check her out, and you see her in all sorts of different places, and she does a wonderful job.
Hey, she put up one of her Gail Lockett's comments. By the way, Gail Lockett is in the house.
All right.
Yes, she's in the house sharing your link. So everybody, please go subscribe to their channel. Not only is their content entertaining, you really feel like you're there. You feel like you're in the room. You really feel like it's sometimes you're a part of a game show, depending on which segment you like chime in on. Like I had so much fun and I did not want it to end. I'm like, dang, that was it. It's over. So if you want a place to where you can just kind of be yourself and engagement is key. And that's something that I've been working on. And most content creators really, depending on what your content is, you want to be engaging. You want people to continue to come back. And I think you all are nailing it. And it's only getting better, I'm sure, because you all are refining as you bring on more people. But like it's actually a really great channel. So if y'all haven't already, make sure you go subscribe, turn on that notification bell. And also, I do have a question because I know during the your show, you kind of like have videos where you're making food.
Yes.
So is that also another part? So if you can like in like a couple sentences share like what are your kind of like targets or streams or things that you focus on, because you have the actual the life part of you all, and then you have the, I don't want to get it wrong, is it vegan or
Plant-based treats
plant
or
based? Okay, child, I was gonna get that wrong. Yes. So yeah, talk to me a little bit about that, of like your different buckets of content.
Our content is centered around changing people's narrative of normal when it comes to their expectations or thoughts about health, business, and wealth. And when we say health, business, and wealth, we're talking about your physical health, your mental health, financial health. We talk about your business. We talk about the business, taking care of your mind, your body, your finances, and all that increases your personal wealth at all the same different levels: physical, mental, and financial.
yes.
So when it comes to the segments, the guests are there to help to with the to help the change the narrative with what it means to be normal when it comes to the business side of things, doing professional thing by exposing you to different professions. Today we had a corporate negotiator on.
So wait a second, just to let everybody know, like Corey's saying, we do have an introduction portion of our channel, of our live show. We have a featured guest. So like he said, today we had a corporate negotiator. When Lauren Melissa was on there, you were our featured guest. And of course, we were talking about, how do dads champion daughters, but also how you as an individual are just living that life, being intentional, being accountable to yourself, being accountable to your environment. So we're giving other folks stuff that they can really learn from and really say, oh, this resonates with me. And then
We've had people come up and made. It's not always somebody that's like a corporate professional or this YouTube sensation. We've had somebody came up that shared their recipes for all natural cleaning products,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's not even a business for them. It's just a lifestyle for them.
Yeah.
We've had Black's Tropical come on and talk about homesteading, the value of growing your own produce and creating content around that. So
Just a second, Corey. All right, sorry about that.
that's where the guests come in, and then the plant based treats. That's Laquita Marie's brainchild. So I'll let her tell about that.
We do always finish every episode with what we call a plant-based treat segment. And plant-based treat just means incorporating more fruits and vegetables into your diet or
Yeah.
lifestyle, so that we just talk about like not eliminating anything. Don't eliminate soda. Don't eliminate chicken. Everybody loves chicken, right? We love chicken, but we stopped eating chicken last year. We love cheese. We stopped eating cow's milk cheese last year. We still eat a lot of cheese, just non-dairy. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's what our plant-based treat segment is. It's really about that health is wealth segment. So that, if you want to look good and feel good, so like, I always joke like, "Ooh, I can drop it like it's hot." Like not
Right.
not like in private, but on a dance floor. Oh, yep, I can stand up, I can drop it and come right back up. I don't have any problems. My knees feel good, my back doesn't hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that because, like, but what it sounds like is you all are like literally giving bite-sized pieces into your interests, into your life, and that's what you were saying is like you don't really want to share everything, but you share the pieces that is interesting to you, but also is beneficial to others, right? Like you, like it's just like you having a pot of gold, and you're like, I want to share it with people, right? Like if it's benefited you, it will benefit others. I want to point out this comment. That David X said. He said, funny thing is, I feel like old friends with Lauren. And honestly, like that was the goal in starting the channel. There's this I guess a tagline like your next best friend kind of thing. And like that's the vibe, right? And when you know your vibe, I think it works. And you got to keep it at the forefront of your mind when you shop around on different channels. We're not really shop around, but really study other channels. And when you're starting to really get comfortable with your own content, I think that is that's essential to building your channel. So I really appreciate this. I think you definitely shared a lot of good gems, a lot of good information for new YouTubers like myself and others that may be kind of like up and coming and really trying to figure out how to get their footing. Because you all have experience in the past of like going on the road shows and on the tours that you all do, and you're bringing it to YouTube. And I think that is the golden nugget to really take away is don't try to be somebody that you're not on this
Nope.
platform. The easiest way to do it is to take who you already are and just kind of alter it a little bit or tweak it so that it really fits in bite-sized pieces and easy to digest. Would you all agree?
Yes, definitely. And like I said, the key is just be genuine because, like I said, we tried, we started having more fun with the pre-recorded videos as we moved along, incorporating more of our, humor and silliness. And that made it easier to do. But then what really brought it home for us is being able to interact with an audience while the broadcast is happening. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the part of the live stream that really speaks to our talents is being able to captivate the audience and also engage with them and build a broadcast with them. So they're not just sitting there passively listening; they're actively involved in building the broadcast with their comments and their input.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Real quick, last question, or not question, but comment. Tell Lauren about the sponsorship portion that can help other YouTubers to get their name out on your show.
This is from Over the Top WME. Thank you so much, Over the Top wife, mother, entrepreneur, Corey, not
Mhm.
weapons, martial arts, and expert. What'd you say?
Wicked, mean, and evil.
Wicked, mean, and
Look at me
evil.
and evil.
Mhm.
Right. So, that's another thing. We looked at, okay, we're in this space. What would we do in any other space? How can we do it in this space? So, as storytellers, you mentioned this early, right?
Mhm.
So we said, yeah, we're storytellers, but what that means is that we actually put on stage plays. We do quite a bit of it of in-person presentations. Now that things have changed a little bit, we even do virtual presentations, which have been pretty sweet. Whereas, you can sit at home, walk from your bedroom to your studio and
Mhm.
get paid twice as much, sometimes three times as much,
Right.
what you used to do in person, driving there. Woo. Anyways, so that being said, we said, okay, let's try to create as professional a space as possible, level up as we go along. Why are you laughing?
Because funny story, I'm gonna let her go. The beauty of being on these YouTube streets and presenting virtually, we had to do a presentation on West Africa. And so I put on my kufi hat and I put on my dashiki and I had on my sweatpants. And she was like, "Why you got the sweatpants on?" I said, "They're not gonna see me. I'm sitting down." She's like, "Oh, yeah, that's right." And we were like, "Yes." Go ahead.
Yes, because in person, we are physical people. We don't do everything everywhere. Like if we have a pre-K or maybe an elementary school, if we have an elementary school audience, Laquita is doing the worm. I can still do the worm. Like so I'm down with
Okay, Quita.
I'm doing
Shout out to the worm.
the worm. Right. We are really ridiculous, right? But we're like, oh yeah, by any means necessary. Until we can't do it, let's live this life.
Mhm.
And so that being said, moving forward, we were like, okay, yeah, let's just have fun. Let's bring whatever we have to this space. So we're in YouTube now. We have a platform, it's growing constantly. Every month that we're on YouTube, it's growing. So we said, okay, I guess we'll do sponsorships. We have more viewers, we have other sponsorships, we have weekly sponsors. So we opened it up to everyone. So we have affordable sponsorships on our channel. So thank you, Over the Top, for asking about that. Oh, XDMC said, wait, Corey. XDM said, wait, XDMC, wait, Corey don't wear pants when they go live? Maybe,
Maybe
maybe
not.
not.
I love it.
I gotta do it.
Well,
I
you got to do
love
what?
it.
I have on a t-shirt
Don't, you know what?
Uh-oh, what's
and
Should
about
I
to
close my
happen?
channel? Should I?
I put on my thong, 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 thong.
I love it. I love it. You can always expect laughs and a good time with Miss Laquita and Mr. Corey from Blind Guy, his wife, their life. Thank you so much for coming to lunch with Lauren. It's only a little snippet because most of us are working and we just stopped in for a little nugget. But I really appreciate y'all. And I hope people in the chat and people that's going to watch this back get something from it. I certainly did. I was taking notes. I don't know if y'all heard the little keyboard going, but I was taking some notes myself. But I really appreciate it. Any final words? Look, someone said they learned a lot. I'm
Ah,
glad.
sweet.
Great couple,
No,
good people, great live. Learned a lot. I love it.
Thank you. I said the last words again. I'm just gonna say it again, and again, and again, and just be you. Be the best. Be the best you can be when you're on YouTube. If you're a content creator, be true to yourself and just be genuine with who you are, and that'll get you going faster, and that'll fast track you to growing your channel faster than anything else because people are gonna want to tune in to get more and more of you, and that's how we've grown. That's how Lauren Melissa's growing. That's how most YouTubers are growing just by being true to themselves.
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely want to say my last words. Of course, I'm a little bit hoarse. I told you earlier, I do apologize for my voice. Usually not this scratchy, but I talk a lot, so I'm not going to stop even if I'm hoarse. So, my final words are that this is a great life. Like, live life while you're living. So, if you're virtual, live that life. If you're in real life, live that life. I talk to strangers all the time. Strangers talk to me, I talk back, right? And we're in a place, we do live in Virginia. We're not in a place where there's like all this violence and like scariness. So, I am able to really live life. Guys, go to somewhere where you can live life. Don't be in a hostile environment, right? Where you have to constantly fear or you have to constantly feel like just apprehensive. Nope, nope. Live life. Life is good. While you're here enjoying it, just be sure that you are enjoying it. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Jonathan Barronville is saying dope show. And that's a lot coming from Jonathan Barronville.
JP, since I can't call you John.
Right, right.
Thanks, Jonathan.
So
Well, yes,
oh,
thank you.
I do want to say, oh, thank you, Shannon. Um, I don't know if I'm saying her name right. Shernone.
Oh, yeah, Shannon.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
have 5 sisters, just so that you know. So she said she reminds me of my sister Corey. I might, because I got a lot of sisters. So hey, you know what I mean? It's just that vibe that's going, but yes, look, over the top said, live life, eat more cake.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you both. This won't be the last time you'll be on this channel, and we'll have you back because this is a blast. So I thank you and for sharing all your knowledge, and yeah. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been pleasurable, just absolutely wonderful. We appreciate you as well. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.
Y'all, that was a live that I was really anticipating. I was hoping for one being because they are a wealth of knowledge, and as a new YouTuber, I'm still learning. There's a lot that I need to learn. There's a lot that I'm like moving around, moving pieces. So if you are new to YouTube or you know some new YouTubers, make sure you share this video so that they are introduced to channels like Blind Guy, His Wife, Their Life, and others. And one thing I think they mentioned, and that I just want to emphasize is like through the chat, you find different people, right? And so you know who's comment to highlight, who's comment not to highlight, you know whose channel to go watch. So you can get some of your information from the people that watch your channel and comment on your videos. So as I said before, like this channel is all about the journey. This channel is all about like just evolving. And so throughout my YouTube journey, I'll be very transparent and share what I've learned, and what I am learning, and just some mistakes I've made and all that stuff. So I'm going to be super transparent about that because there's really, I mean, there's videos on YouTube you can watch about how to be a YouTuber, but you kind of want to hear it from somebody who's actually like in the trenches and not already arrived with millions of followers. So if you are along with me for the journey, make sure you hit that subscribe button, you hit the notification bell, and you like this video. So thanks so much, y'all. I'm out.